than that, man. That's just horrifying, scary thought, man. Alright. It doesn't even see right now. As it is going. Alright. There it goes. It's not on yet, but it says upcoming first, and it goes. Alright. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. Alright, so we stopped. Where do we stop? We read this. Okay, so alright, yeah, alright. We're on Bab, alright, chapter 78. Where's your book at?
انت مسقط الإجابات بالكتابين فمسون انك براخذ يعني زي
No, لا ده بالمفرد دايما. Get that spider, get that spider.
Yeah. Oh, those fast ones.
No, it's just he's swinging down on a. Get him. Yeah, he's swinging on whatever you call that thing on the web.
On the thread, like we're on.
So this is chapter number 78, Bab فضل المرأة إذا تصبرت على ولدها ولم تزوج. Alright, is this where we're at? Yeah, this is where we're at. So this is the chapter about the virtue of a woman who is patient with her son, ولم تزوج, and she doesn't get married again. Like, okay, her husband dies, and she just takes care of her children, and she doesn't get married, married again. Alright, so this is for the virtue of this person. Alright, so this is hadith number 141. حدثنا أبو عاصم. Alright, عن النحاس ابن قهم. Alright, نحاس ابن قهم. He's ضعيف. And they said, Ibn Ma'in said about him, ليس بشيء. ليس بشيء. Like, he's nothing as far as like his narration is not accepted. Alright. But what did Shaykh al-Albani say? What did he say?
Da'if.
He said da'if also?
No, the hadith in itself is da'if, but he just quoted his book.
Alright. No, it's because Nahas ibn Qahm. Alright, like I said, Yahya ibn Ma'in said, ليس بشيء. عن شداد أبي عمار عن عوف بن مالك رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أنا وامرأة سفعاء الخدين امرأة آمت من زوجها فصبرت على ولدها. It's a mistake, but you don't have your book to correct the mistake because it says فصبرت, but it's فصبرت على ولدها كهاتين في الجنة. And the same thing he mentions about the fingers, right? So he said, this is reported on the authority of Auf ibn Malik radiallahu anhu, in which he said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ana wa imra'a. So is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying that he himself and the woman, and then he's going to describe this type of woman, Saf'a'ul khaddain. What does this mean, Saf'a'ul khaddain? No. This is the khaddain, the two cheeks. Saf'a, it means taghayyur alone. So the color starts to change because she's not getting married, right? And she's taking care of the children by herself. So she's going through all this different mashaqqa and difficulties. So what happens to the woman is her skin starts to change. She starts to become rougher. And over time, that beautiful shiny skin that she used to have when she was young, it starts to change to like this rougher, because of just all the work that she has to do and the difficulties that she's going through. So this is what he's saying, that this woman that has the safa'ul khaddain, that the color and the complexion of her cheeks has changed because of all the difficulties that she's experienced. And Murad, wa alaikum assalam. Well, y'all leaving or what? Y'all leaving or what?
No, we're leaving and we're coming back.
Alright, take it. Alright, so then after that he said, Imra'atun amat min zawjiha. Amat, it means what?
Amat or A'imat?
Amat. What do you got?
This one right here.
That's a mistake. Alright, so amat min zawjiha means that she lost her husband. Alright, you say amat al-mar'a wa aqamat bila zawj. And this is you can use this for a woman regardless of if she remains unmarried without a husband. You can say amat, for even if she's never been married before. But generally it's used for the woman that's lost her husband. And, alright, she's lost her husband. So amat min zawjiha fasabarat. So she lost her husband and she stays alone without marriage, taking care of her children. Fasabarat, and she's patient like this. Ala walidiha kahataini fil jannah. That they're going to be like this in the Jannah. And there's a lot of ikhtilaf because there's a lot of different turuq. But in reality, alright, we look at this chain of narration. There's illat and there's two, there's illatani, two things that make this hadith, this chain of narration da'if. Number one, I mentioned Nahas ibn Qahm. Alright, Yahya ibn Ma'in said what? Laysa bi shay. Alright, and then the second problem is al-inqita'. Alright, because Shaddad ibn Abi Amr, Shaddad ibn Abi Amr. It's not Shaddad ibn. I keep making a mistake whenever I read this hadith. Because he didn't say ibn. He said Shaddad Abi Amr. Abi Ammar. That means that's his kunya. Alright, Shaddad here, he did not take hadith from Auf ibn Malik. Lam yasma' minhu. So because he did not take hadith from him, so that means that there's an inqita', that there's that the sanad is munqata'. So there's two illas. One, Shaddad did not take hadith from Auf, and Nahas, his hadith is da'if. So this chain of narration is da'if. And some of the people have taken it and said that it's Hasan al-Ghayrihi because of the different turuq. But the other turuq are also da'if. So, Allahu A'lam. Shaykh al-Albani said it's da'if. I'm going to go with Shaykh al-Albani on this one. Rahimahullah. Alright, the next chapter. Bab. So this is chapter number 79. Bab Adab al-Yatim. Alright, this is what? Adab al-Yatim. Alright, the manners of the, but this is not talking about just the adab, but the ta'deeb. Alright, ta'deeb, it means what? Disciplining. Alright, so this is a hadith and a Muslim. And I didn't get a chance to look up. This is Imam Muslim ibn Hajjaj. I meant to look it up, but I could not. I just did not have the time to look it up. Because that's if this is from Muslim ibn Hajjaj, al-Imam Muslim, that's beautiful, akhi. This is hadith that Imam Bukhari narrated from Muslim, but I have to go back and check if that's Muslim ibn Hajjaj. If that's Imam Muslim from Sahih Muslim. Alright, because that could be another Muslim. So inshallah, I'll go back and check it. I wanted to check it, and it's been on my mind from like yesterday when I read the hadith, but I got caught up with other things in Fath al-Bari, so Allah Mustaan, I couldn't. By the way, what's the news on Fath al-Bari? Huh?
Oh, I didn't hear.
Yeah. No good news, man. Alright, so Hadathana Muslim, Qala Hadathana Shu'bah. And if this is Muslim narrating this hadith from Shu'bah, it's beautiful. Why? Why is this beautiful? You're not allowed in here. Go. No, I don't care, akhi. You can apologize until the day of judgment. Get up out of here. It's not accepted. You can apologize. He ain't coming back in here. Not in class and not when we're praying. Alright, so why is this beautiful? Because a Muslim, Ibn what?
Al-Hajjaj.
Shu'bah, Ibn man. Ibn al-Hajjaj. Same name of the father, but not the same father. But, cool, huh? Alright. And Shumaysata al-Ataqiyya قال ذكر أدب اليتيم عند عائشة رضي الله عنها. And like I said, when you see the hadith, it's speaking about the adab al-yatim. Akhi, we're in the middle of a live stream, akhi. Go. You're cutting off every time. I think the hadith is more important than what you have to say right now. Tell you, we'll talk later. I want to tell you. We'll talk later. Tell you, but you ain't coming back. You can cry. You can do whatever you want. You ain't coming back in here. All right. See, man, they don't know me, man. Once I get tired of this stuff, it's over. It's done, man. I'm like out of apologies. I'm done with it. As we stop feeding the cats, right? Well, we stop feeding the cats. Cat hissed at me. I'm like, man, how you gonna hiss at me, dude? And I'm feeding you every day.
Which one?
My cat, these cats at the house.
Oh, at the house.
Yeah, dude hissed at me, man. I'm like, man, I ain't feeding you no more. Y'all go find some cockroaches or something outside. Huh? What? I don't care. He hissed at me, boy. I ain't feeding him. It's like, y'all go find another house to live in, man. We've been feeding y'all tuna, giving y'all milk, giving you cat food.
Tuna.
Because they gave us like 2 cases of tuna, right? And none of my family eats tuna. It was given to us. I wouldn't buy tuna for no cat. Come on, man. But somebody gave it to us. So since none of us really eat tuna, we just gave it to the cats. And they hissed at me, man.
The same hand that feeds, the same hand that gets bit.
Yeah, the same hand that goes and looks for another house to live at. Yeah. Yeah, huh?
Maybe someone says maybe the cat trauma.
What is that?
يشبه الولد
كيف من أي ناحية؟ ها؟ ها؟
يشفيه شخص يقول يشفيه الولد.
Oh, you're talking about, oh, this is something somebody's over here. Oh. What are you talking about? In the chat or what? What are you talking about? Maybe the cat has trauma. He's going to have a lot of trauma now because now he's homeless. It's like, man, come on, man. I'll look out for you, but you ain't hissing at me, man.
Can we please take the next hadith?
Huh?
Can we please take the next hadith?
Why? What's up?
Because, well, for so long I've been trying to learn about this ayah in Surah Al-Rahman, هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان.
What's the next hadith?
باب الإحسان إلى البر والفاجر.
That's not even the next bab, akhi, because you got the wrong book.
Oh. Well, you know what I mean.
You all mustajil. No, we're not going to jump a whole nother chapter. The next chapter's got like 6 or 7 hadiths in it. How are we going to wait to know, man? You're going to have to be patient. All right, so back to this. So this is a ذكر أدب اليتيم عند عائشة رضي الله عنها فقالت إني لا أضرب اليتيم حتى ينبسط. And so this was, the disciplining of the.
You heard that?
I don't want to laugh at this, man, because it's but anyways. He's making me laugh.
It sounds like it's from the movies.
Yeah, I know, because I can hear it out in the hallway, man. I said, go close the door better. Like, make sure, like, all you gotta do is push it and pull it closed. It's your brother crying outside. So he said that the disciplining of and I want y'all to pay attention to this because somebody needs this right now. Somebody really, really needs this hadith implemented on them right now. So the disciplining of the orphan was mentioned to Aisha radiallahu anha, and this chain of narration is authentic. She said, "Inni la adribul yatim." She said that if he's done something wrong, obviously not just gonna go beat a child for no reason. Like it has to be something that warranted that, because you don't just the problem with a lot of parents, every time that the kid does something wrong, like even a small thing, what do?
Beat them.
They beat them. Nah, this is wrong. You have to advise the kids and let them know, and then if they don't listen to the advice and you warn them, and then you have to show them that there's consequences for their actions. Because if you don't show them that there's consequences for their actions, then they're going to go into life thinking what? There's no consequences, and they're going to get themselves killed or hurt.
Saying an older person, I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah, so don't bring that stuff up, man. Seriously. Like, that's their business. I'm out of that. Like, seriously. I don't get involved in no business. It ain't going to end. It's not going to end well. And there's no benefit for the person that remains standing after it ends. So she said, "Inni la adribul yatim hatta yanbasat." So she said that I hit, sometimes if she's in that position, she has to do this. She hits the orphan until he's laid out on the ground. laid out on the ground because of whatever it is that might cause that. And, you know, like I said, I mean, when this type of thing, you have to use hikmah. In the West, you have to use a lot more hikmah than in the other countries because of what can happen to you. So, I mean, you just look at the situation. But, I mean, the best thing to do is to advise the kids. And if the kids still, like, you know, they want to follow that shaitan, you got to give them motivation. I'm going to kick you out, too, man, until you go get some Tums or something like that.
I can't control it.
Stop eating at the restaurant. All right. So, you know, this is up to the parent, and the parent's got to use discretion in that scenario. But now, of course, you know, it's like now these things aren't up to the parents anymore because now, you know, in the West, the government wants to control everything, control your children, and control so.
CPS.
Huh?
CPS.
I don't know what they call it anymore.
Yeah, Child Protective Services.
Oh, okay.
Well, more like child unprotected services.
Yeah, they ain't protecting nothing, Akhi. They take the child out of a house and put them into a kiddie jail and in these little homes these little foster homes where the kids get worse than if they had just stayed with their parents, even if their parents were bad. You know?
Read the stories of how many of these kids who go to CPS and how much of them get raped, sexually abused.
I don't need to read the stories. I mean, I don't know about the rape and sexually abused stuff, but I know they came out like drug dealers and drug users and, you know, and people that put people in their graves. So, I mean, they didn't come out as good people. But they, you know, it'd probably been a lot better if they just remained with their parents. But yeah, man, these, you know, so, but I mean, obviously, like, as far as disciplining the kids, and nowadays, I think you don't even have to beat kids so much anymore. Well, like, beating kids ain't even like, you know, subhanAllah, you know, take something away from them. Boy, you cut the internet off in the house. You know, you say, like, right now, because, you know, I got the kill switch on my phone, right? I'll block all y'all from the internet. Boy, yo, you can sit there and use your phone all day long. You ain't going to get on the internet because that stuff's on my phone. All right, just shut the internet off on them. Boy, they'll start acting right now. Like, they'll start, mashallah, they start becoming like military disciplined. You know, making the bed and mopping the floors and, boy, just turn the internet back on. So, Allah Musta'an. Any questions before we go to the next thing?
Someone named Shajid.
Man?
Shajid. Says, I have a question regarding how the Sahaba and the pious people selected their leaders and how did they give bay'ah?
Shajid, go study Tawheed first. Study the basics of your religion. What are you concerned with these types of things for anyways? Well, the majority of the people that ask these types of questions, Akhi, wallah, you start asking them questions. And if you were here right now, Shajid, I would be asking you questions. And I'm going to see how you answer these basics about the religion. But, you know, along this time, I ain't going to do it here because you got the access to Google. But, yeah, you know, focus on the basics of your religion. You know, I don't think anybody in the West right now needs to be concerned about that. You can get killed in jail for a can of tuna in prison or what?
Fatima said, what's wrong with buying tuna for the cat?
I ain't gonna buy no tuna for no cat. I give the cat like the leftover chicken bones, cat food. But like I said, we just don't eat tuna. So I mean, I'll eat a fresh tuna, but not the stuff in the can.
Those 30-pound tunas. Those 30-pound tunas.
No, but I won't eat it from here. I won't eat any fish from America ever.
Oh.
Assalamu alaikum. Man, close the door, Akhi, and get out of here. You're a tornado, man. That's what I'm calling you, tornado. You are a tornado, Akhi. Get up out of here. All right. There are no questions. We're going to go on. I told you about the poem, right? Did we ever go over this poem or no?
My time here in the classes, no. Maybe.
No.
Okay, maybe.
No, I mean, because I know I've like gone over it in like different, like maybe in Telegram or something like that, but I'm not sure if you know. Yeah. So and What's he talking about, man? Shit.
He's still going on.
No, it's a question. I got.
Learn that.
I mean, for one, the people that give bay'ah are not you, akhi, because we're nobodies. The people that give bay'ah to the leader are the leaders, the big people in the country. Everybody else, their bay'ah is done, khalas, you know? I mean, so the ulama and the people of the people that actually have sha'an, they go and they give bay'ah to the ruler. You know, it's not like every single person, every taxi driver, every, McDonald's worker, everybody goes and gives bay'ah. No, because that's all, a tabi, So, anyway, so Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So this is a poem by Abdullah ibn al-Mubarak, right? All right, so there's different narrations of this poem. I just took the one from his diwan. If you go to Madarij al-Salikin, and Imam ibn al-Qayyim, he mentions it in Madarij al-Salikin. He doesn't really explain it, but he mentions it. He'll bring it with a different, just a small change in the wording. It's nothing that the poem in its entirety, it remains as it is. And this poem is something that is worthy of being memorized. I mean, it's just, alhamdulillah, it's pretty easy to understand, but it's definitely worthy of memorization, as a reminder. Because these types of poems that have wisdom, just like why we memorize the hadith, because you memorize the hadith just like you memorize the Quran. You have to constantly what? You have to constantly revise it and go back and revise it and revise it. And as you revise it, it does what?
Sorry, I can't control this.
Get some tongues, man.
Even in the salah, when I did it, I could,
All right, so when you're revising things, it acts as a reminder all the time. So even with this poetry, you go back and you revise it, you reread it, and it all constantly reminds you of these types of things that we need to focus on. So, قال رحمه الله تعالى رأيت ذنوب تميت القلوب.
My mom said to all that
It's a good chair.
Obama, don't open this door one more time.
My mom said to open the door.
What door?
So say the women's bathroom.
I don't have the key to the women's bathroom.
To the kitchen.
No, we're not allowed to. Nobody is allowed to open the kitchen for nobody. Those are the rules. If she wants permission to open the kitchen, she needs to call the board. Call Sister Amina or call somebody else. And nobody open the kitchen for nobody. Especially you. Yeah. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi. Got up in there last time passing out knives, akhi. Yeah, they sent me the video, man. They're taking knives off the wall and passing them out. Like they're going to war or something, Yeah, it's a long time. So he said, رأيت الذنوب تميت القلوب ويتبعها الظل إدمانها. So we'll just go line by line, inshallah. So he said, رأيت الذنوب. I saw that sins تميت القلوب. That sins cause the death of the heart. ويتبعها الظل إدمانها. ويتبعها, what? And it causes what?
Humiliation.
Humiliation, but humiliation caused by what? Idmanuha.
Like not caring about it?
No. Idmanuha means that you become addicted to those sins and you can't leave them.
Oh, yeah.
So you just keep doing them over and over. And even though the people advise you, and even though you know that this is wrong, but you keep doing them. So that idman, because whenever your heart becomes attached to something, especially something in the disobedience to Allah, what happens to you as a person?
Kills your heart.
And not only does it kill your heart, but it takes you out of the state of izzah, the state of honor. Because you're an honorable person and staying in obedience to Allah. And the people look at the Muslim and they say, man, those Muslims, they don't lie, they don't drink, they don't cheat, they don't steal. But now you start to do these things, You start to drink or you start to, do drugs, smoking weed, you start to mess around with women. Now you're falling into these things that take you out of being honorable and a high status with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to now being what? Yeah, just like everybody else, And I told you, that's why, if you go back to that poem of Tughra'i, Lamiyat al-Ajam, which I told you find that poem, write that poem in a notebook and memorize it. But when he said that at the end, and that's why he's talking about Lamiyat al-Ajam. And then he was talking about at the end about what you need to stay away from as a person. Once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you this honor and dignity, then he said what? He said, قَرَ رَشَّحُوكَ النَّاسَ بِأَمْرٍ and فَطَنْتَ لَهُ فَرَبَعْ بِنَفْسِكَ أَن تَرْعَى مَعَ الْحَمَلِ. What does this mean, Saif? قال رشحوك الناس. You know what رشحوك means what? اختاروك. No, رشحوك, like, you know, like in the intikhabat, they use this now, you know, where, you know, the people have chosen you, like, you know, they look up to you because they honor you, that people look at you as something righteous. So they said the people now have chosen you. رشحوك لأمر, for a great affair. You know, and فَطَنْتَ لَهُ, if you can only perceive it, if you have the intelligence to see it. He said, فَرَبَعْ بِنَفْسِكَ. Or فَرَبَعْ بِنَفْسِكَ, like, you know, keep your, you know, how could I say this? Like, you know, keep care of yourself, take care of yourself. And don't allow yourself to be, like, you know, degraded. You know, don't bring yourself into, like, humiliation or degradation or any type of dishonor. You know, you keep yourself, you know, in honor and, you know, in your dignity, right? He said, فَرَبَعْ بِنَفْسِكَ أَن تَرْعَى مَعَ الْحَمَلِ. He said, and be, you know, protect yourself from what falling into grazing with the hamala. And what do we say the hamala is? It's the animal, it's the wild animal that has no shepherd. It's called al-hamal. But what is he referring to? Because he's not talking about, obviously we're humans. We're not going to go graze with animals that don't have a shepherd. But what does he mean by this statement? Huh?
I mean, like those who worship their desires.
You know, he's talking about the people that grow up with no tarbiyah. You know, they're raised up like nobody's, they're not raised up with like tarbiyah al-Islamiyah, with the correct understanding of Islam. They just do what they want. And their parents let them do what they want. So this is like most of the people that you see on the streets, right? They have no principles or nothing guiding their lives. They just what? Whatever he wants to do that day, what? That's what I'm going to do. Whatever the desires dictate, that's where I go. You know, this is the hamad. Like there's no principles. There's nothing that controls his life. There's no boundaries that he set. Like this is halal, this is haram. I'm not going, you know, and this is like, you know, in that middle, the shubahat, you know, mushtabihat, you know, those unclear areas, you know, there's no boundaries that are set. So what happens is when he, you know, he goes, these are the people that constantly just live outside of, you know, outside of the boundaries, you know. So these are the hamal, and he's saying, you know, honor yourself and not to fall into grazing with these types of individuals, you know. So, but all of this goes back to that dhul, and that's what he's saying, right? You being addicted to these sins and addicted to this disobedience, it causes you to be, you know, debased, you know, dishonored. You lose everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. He said, وَتَرَكَ الذُّنُوبِ حَيَاةُ الْقُلُوبِ وَخَيْرٌ لِنَفْسِكَ أَسْيَانُهَا. And he said, leaving off the sins is what brings life to the heart. All right, so I mean, there's no other way that you can, and that light that comes into the heart is happiness. That's what brings the sa'adah, the happiness. Nothing else is going to bring that light to the heart. You know, if you try to find that, you know, find that happiness with disobedience to Allah, all you're going to do, you're setting yourself up for a huge failure. He said, وَخَيْرٌ لِنَفْسِكَ أَسْيَانُهَا. And he said, the best thing for you is to disobey what? Disobey your desires, disobey your nafs. Your nafs is like yourself. When yourself is calling you to do those things, he said the best thing for you in this state is to do what? Yeah, obey Allah and disobey your nafs. So disobey yourself. And he said, وَهَلْ بَدَّلَ الدِّينِ. He said, وَهَلْ بَدَّلَ الدِّينِ إِلَّا الْمَلُوكُ وَأَحْبَارُ سُوءٍ وَرُهْبَانُهَا. And he said, and who has changed this religion? Except for the kings and the you know the scholars, like the evil scholars, وَرُهْبَانُهَا, and the monks. But what does he mean here? Because obviously this is Abdullah ibn Mubarak. He himself is an imam. He's a muhaddith. But what is he talking about? Because he said ahbar as-su'in. Ahbar as-su'. He's talking about the bad scholars. So who are these bad scholars? Who are they?
The ulama of bid'ah.
Oh, the bid'ah, but there's also other things. Because he mentioned the maluk wa ahbar as-su' together. So you got the kings, right? They want to do certain things. And then you got these scholars over here that are ready to make everything halal that those kings want to do. Even though they know it's haram, they'll stay quiet. And they're not doing the amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar that they're commanded to do. So when they see something, even if it's from the king, It's the ulama. It's their job to go and advise the kings, not to allow them to continue doing things that are what? Haram, right? So this is what he's talking about. You know, these types of people where everything just becomes what? Halal, halal. But nowadays, it's not so much for the kings. It's more or less for the people. These ahbar al-su, these misguided scholars, they look at what the people like. And they say what? They try to make those things halal. So they see that the people love listening to music. And they know that the music, all the evidence shows that the music is haram. And the Sahaba understood that music was haram from the ayah in Surah Al-Luqman. But they ignore all of that and they try to like twist the evidence to say, oh, okay, no, it's, you know, it's only haram if the music is not Islamic. No, I'm saying you get some crackheads like this,
I know, I heard them.
you know, you get it.
Yeah, I heard these.
You know, but if it's a Muslim, it's okay. So okay, a Muslim gets up there, f this, you know, and it's okay because he's Muslim. Nah, you know, we have one set of principles across the board. What's up?
Do you think music is haram?
I don't think.
No, music is haram?
I know 100%.
That all music is haram?
Yes. Now, what's the understanding of the ayah? وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْتَرِي لَحْوَ الْحَدِيثِ لِيُضِلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And he said, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْتَرِي, what? From amongst the people, they sell lahw al-hadith. Lahw al-hadith was the tafsir was given by a number of the Sahaba. That refers to music. Yeah, it's lahw al-hadith. It means useless speech. And that's what it means in the Arabic language. But they said it's specifically referring to music because music is what? Useless speech. I mean, you like go listen to. I don't listen to music, but I'm just saying read the lyrics of music and you see it's useless speech. There's nothing that you can benefit, nothing that you can take from that and live your life. You know, ain't nobody sitting here making like rap songs about how to start a Fortune 500 company. You know what I'm saying? So this is the reality. You know.
So this is good to read this too. This is Bukhari.
So Abdul, where is it? Where is this Sahabi? Abu Malik al-Ash'ari. والله ما كذبني سمع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول لا يكونن من أمتي أقوام يستحلون الحر والحرير والخمر والمعازف. So here the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there's going to be a people from my ummah in the last days. You know, they make yastahillun, that they make halal al-hir wal-harir, which is what?
Al-harir, silk.
It's silk, right? Wal-khamr, alcohol.
Or intoxication.
And this khamr is anything like yukhamr or dhihin, anything that messes up the natural functions of the mind. So that's not just limited to drinking, you know,
wine.
Beer and wine, and that's all things that yukhamr or dhihin, anything that intoxicates, and because they this is how they translate it. They translate it as intoxicants, but that's not how it's understood in the Arabic language. And we go back to the Arabic language, because that's what the Prophet ﷺ spoke. He didn't speak English. So we don't judge it based on like, oh, it's got to be an intoxicant. Or, you know, no. So under the understanding of what khamr is in the Arabic language, that includes these pills, weed, whatever, Xanax, alcohol, anything that yukhamr al-aql, you know, what's the word?
That takes you out of your natural state of mind.
Nah, but the word is a specific word in English I'm looking for. The opposite of repair.
Destroy.
Huh?
Destroy.
No, not that. Well, anyways, but you know, that messes up the natural function of your mind.
Oh,
all right.
Drunken state.
Huh?
Drunken state.
No, because again, it's a drunken state. You know, when you say drunk, what are you gonna think of? Doing a wino, drinking alcohol, walking out of a pub. Huh?
That's called inhibits.
Inhibits is a good word. Inhibits the natural function of the mind. Yeah. All right. So, and he said, well, ma'azif. And ma'azif is what? And that's this understanding was given by the Sahaba that the ma'azif, it means musical instruments. Musical instruments. And that they're going to make them halal in the last days. Welcome. Welcome to the last days. Welcome to the last days. So, you got the hadith is in Bukhari. You got to pull it up in English. Look.
Let me, sorry.
What about gold?
For man, haram.
Hadith or Quran?
So the hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
And this is an Arabic, right? you want to appreciate it.
Gold has been made permissible for the women, not for the men.
This Sheikh named Wahab, Abdul Wahab, long time ago, I was at the mosque, had a gold chain on. I saw that's nothing but
Yeah, this is what he's talking about. You know, these so-called fake scholars that make everything halal. You know, that's show them the hadith about the gold.
Oh.
You know. All right, but we'll go on like while he's looking for this, inshallah. He said, وَهَلْ بَدَّلَ الدِّينَ إِلَى الْمَلُوكِ. So who has changed the religion except for the kings, وَأَحْبَارُ السُّوءِ, and these and these misguided, these fake scholars, وَرُهْبَانُهَا, and the monks, because the monks are known for worship, they're not known for knowledge. So we have remember the hadith about the man that killed 99 men. What happened? What was the first person that he went to? He said, he سأل أعلم من في الأرض. He said, who is the most knowledgeable person in the earth? فدل على راهب, and they guided him to a monk. فقال إنه قتل 99 نفسا فهل له من توبة. So he said, he's killed 99 men. Is there any tawbah for him? فقال لا. He said no. فقتله, and then he killed him. He said فكمل به 100. And then he completed 100. Because again, he went to a monk, and the monks are not known for what? They're not known for knowledge, they're known for worship. Alright, so he spoke without knowledge, and the guy killed him. And then he said, now who's the most knowledgeable person in the land? Now, you killed him, now who's the most knowledgeable? He said, Vadulla ala rajulin alim. And then they said, then he was guided to a person who of knowledge, a scholar. Alright, فَسَأَلَهُ, and he asked him, he said, فَقَالَ إِنَّهُ قَتَلَ مِيَةَ نَفْسًا. He killed 100 men, now 100. He said, فَهَلْ لَهُ مِن تَوْبَةٍ, does he have any tawbah? And what did he say? Yeah. He said, نَعَمْ. He said, yes. And he answered with knowledge. The other guy, the rahib, he didn't answer with knowledge, because that's not what they're known for. And then of course, from the khutbahs, we've gone over this hadith more than once. So, so that's what he's talking about, وَرُحْبَانُهَا. He said, and this goes back to what we were talking about yesterday, right? He said, وَبَاعُوا النُّفُوسَ فَلَمْ يَرَبَحُوا وَلَمْ تَغْلُوا فِي الْبَيْءِ أَثْمَانُهَا. He said, وَبَاعُوا النُّفُوسَ, and he sold the souls of the people. And how have they sold the souls of the people?
They're making haram halal?
Yeah, because they're misguiding the people. So they're selling them. Because they're trying to whatever purpose they have. Maybe they're looking for status, maybe they're looking for money, or they're looking for something with the people, but they sell the people to get this, whatever it is that they're looking for. So for وَبَاعُوا النُّفُوسَ فَلَمْ يَرَبَحُوا. He said they sold the people, they sold their souls, they destroyed these people. وَلَمْ يَرَبَحُوا. And they what? And they sold their own nafs for their own destruction. He said, وَلَمْ يَرَبَحُوا, that they profited nothing.
Just like the Jews.
Huh?
Just like the Jews.
Well, that's what the ulama of Su, the tashabbuh bil Yahud. Because if the layman goes astray, then he resembles the Christians. And if the ulama or the scholars go astray, then they resemble the Jews. And that's,
Wow, I never thought about that.
Yeah. That's why he said.
It's kind of deep.
It's
kind of deep.
That's the tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha.
Eat right quick.
Huh? Where you headed?
Eat.
Huh?
I can eat all day long.
Alright.
Let's sit right here and eat. So
Alright, take it, inshallah. Alright, so he said, وَبَاعُوا النُّفُوسَ فَلَمْ يَرَبَحُوا. So they profited nothing off of this sale. وَلَمْ تَغْلُوا فِي الْبَيْءِ أَثْمَانُهَا. And even the price of what they sold, it wasn't even an extravagant price. It was a cheap price. What we talked about yesterday, we said you have the akhirah and you have everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared for the Muslim, for the believer in the akhirah. And then they want to what? Then they go off and they try to sell it. They sell it for something so cheap, this life of this world. It's like, you're selling the greatest thing that you could ever imagine for such a cheap, garbage, price, So.
I just had to go when I was shown the hadith of the gold. I went on Sheikh bin Baz's website, then Duror. That's a joke, though. It took me a process.
Alright. So that's the whole point. وَلَمْ تَغْلُوا فِي الْبَيْءِ أَثْمَانُهَا. So even with their sale, they couldn't even sell it at a higher price. They sold it at a very, very low price. So they sold themselves and they sold the people for just a cheap price, for some temporary benefit, maybe some little temporary status in this dunya, maybe some money in the dunya. That's it. But then what? Nothing. They profited nothing other than that. Said, لَقَدْ رَتَعَ الْقَوْمُ فِي جِيفَةٍ يَبِينُ لِذِي الْعَقْلِ أَنْتَانُهَا. So he said, لَقَدْ رَتَعَ الْقَوْمُ. Rata, if it's referring to an animal, it means to let the animal graze. But if it's referring to people, it means aqamu. You know, that they like taking up residence in a place. You know, you say rata al-qawm, it means that they what? Taking up residence on a jifa. And what is a jifa?
When the Yemenis say jifa, I mean, it smells nasty. It's, I don't know what jifa.
Well, jifa is because it's something that smells nasty.
Oh, that's what it means?
No, I mean it's something that does.
Oh.
And that's what he's saying. You understand the rest of the lines, inshallah. He said, لَقَدْ رَتَعَ الْقَوْمَ فِي جِيفَةٍ. And he didn't say ala jifa, he said fi jifatin. In it, like he's taking up residence inside of a rotting corpse. And he's referring to what? This dunya. Because we're in the last leg of the dunya, akhi. The signs of the hour have already started. And what was the first sign of the hour?
It was a major sign. It was the message of the Prophet.
Yeah, وَلَقَدْ جَاءَ أَشْرَاطُهَا.
Oh, okay.
Which is ashratuha here, it starts with the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when he came with the final, this is the final message. There's no messenger after him. Khalas. The only thing that's after him is going to be fitna, trials, tribulations, and everything that's going to come. And in the day of judgment. That's it. The destruction and the end of the world. So the fact that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam already came, that is the sign that the hour is about to be established. And the people don't even wake up to that. Not the death of the Prophet, the sending. The Prophet ﷺ being sent to mankind, that is the first, that's the beginning of the signs of the hour being established. So he said, so there's nothing left in this dunya. All the good stuff is gone. All the good gold and all the good stuff, all that stuff is what? That's been gone long time ago. Now the people are fighting over the sur. What is that in Arabic? What does that mean in English? Sur. Look it up. I'll get you to go to ma'ani.com. This is what the people are fighting over. So now you get to learn a new word today, inshallah.
Does it mean currency?
No. Don't go to the website of Sheikh Mubaz looking up a word, huh?
I don't know if he does that. It says on Ma'ani, state of behaving in a wild, angry frenzy.
What's spell the word that you look
Okay, never mind. Starvation?
No.
Sin, Ain, and Ra, right?
No, su'r.
Oh, su'r. Okay.
I say su'r. Sin, Hamza, Ra. You gotta spell it with a wow though. Wow with the Hamza above the. Oh, he takes forever. I should just say.
Oh, I got it.
I should just next time I'm just gonna tell you what the word means, but I want him to search for it so he can see it, so maybe it sticks in his head, right? Because when you search for things, it helps a lot more. Somebody just telling you the answer. Come on, dude.
Can't find it.
Seen. Wow with the Hamza on top. And Ra. Man, if I open up Ma'ani and find this in 3 seconds, I think.
Adab Hamza.
And he's still trying to figure out if he can spell it right.
No, I am. I did. The thing, I'm on the website.
Huh?
I'm on the website, but
Watch
I can't.
this. Like, keep looking. I'm the tortoise coming up behind the hare right now. Go ahead. Because I don't think he's spelling it right, man.
How's it spelled?
That's why I'm like, because now he's starting to worry me. I'm starting to worry if this is the right word. Sur. جمع أسعار السؤر بقية الشيء. وفي حديث الفضل بن عباس حديث شريف. That's what's right there أخي.
Su'ur. Yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I didn't find it.
All the
Seen. Hamza, but the Hamza is with a waw.
Okay.
There's a waw with a Hamza above it. Ra. Type that in and wait. You gotta wait with the ma'ani. You can't just hit enter. You have to wait till the word pops up underneath, then hit enter. But anyways, the su'r is baqiyat shay. It means anything that's left over. So they use this to refer to food that's left over. So what I was saying is that we're getting the su'r. You know, this is what we're getting. We're getting the leftovers. Whatever all these generations of people that went before us, all they've eaten, they've taken all the good gold, the good silver, all the good minerals out of the ground. We're just getting the garbage that's left over now. We're getting the leftovers, akhi. And we got to water it down just to make it last, you know. So we're not even getting the best of this dunya, akhi. The best of this dunya is long gone. We're in the last leg of the dunya, where the dunya is now about to collapse and fall apart. And we're still fighting over this. So that's what he's talking about. Like right now, they're just like they've taken up iqama, they've taken up residency inside of a rotting corpse. You know, they're just chilling. Like, I'm cool. This is the place to be, you know, inside this rotting corpse. And this is the dunya. It's rotting. It's over. It's like it's done. It's in its last stages. He said, يَبِينُ لِذِي الْعَقْلِ. He said it's clear. It's been made clear to the person who has a mind, who uses his mind. What? He said, لِلْعَقْلِ what? أَنْتَانُهَا. The putrid smell that's emanating from this rotten corpse. Like the people who have an aql, the people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given, you know, this deen, and they can see it, they see it for what it is. And we're looking at the people, we're like, man, y'all, this is a rotting corpse, akhi. What are y'all? No, man, we're living our best life up in here in this rotten donkey. You know, but this is the reality. And this is what when you see the people of the dunya. And it's exactly this picture that he painted is beautiful. And we know this because we have a similar statement from the Prophet ﷺ, not about the dunya, but about the person who stands up from a majlis. We talked about this hadith before. Man qama an majlisan la yuzkarullahu fihi. What? Qama an mithli ish. Jifat al-himar. Wa kana alayhi hasara. He said, whoever stands up from a gathering that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not mentioned in that gathering, he said he stood up like he stood up from the rotting corpse of a donkey. وَكَانَ عَلَيْهِ حَسَرًا. And he'll have regret and sadness on the day of judgment for being in that city. Right? So we even see this from the statement of the Prophet ﷺ, and this is it, because this dunya, you think the people of the dunya, they're not about dhikrullah, they're not about mentioning Allah, remembering Allah, or reminding you of Allah. So whenever just even sitting with them anyways, is like sitting inside of a, what? Rotting corpse of a donkey. So, mashallah, beautiful statement, beautiful poem by Imam Abdullah ibn Mubarak. MashaAllah, like I said, the people should memorize this. And you see, the ulama, they use this poem a lot. You read this in a lot of books. Like I said, in Madarij al-Salikin, Ibn Qayyim mentioned it. And also you see it in different books. And you see it in Shaykh al-Islam. You see it from the ulama from today. They'll mention the poem. So it's a very, very, mashallah, as you see, beautiful, straight to the point poem. Hamid, he wrote it for you. So, you know, now you can copy paste it and put it. Have you still not found the word?
No, I didn't try again to look for it. But
No,
I did
man,
find
you
it.
gotta-
I've already found it.
No, read it.
Okay, now I have to go back.
Hamid, he put it there for you. Jazakallah khair.
تعريف ومعنى سؤر في معجم المعاني الجامع معجم عربي and then there's so much.
What?
And then سؤر says parentheses مصطلحات السوء
Akhi, go up to the top, man.
The top it says
Even Muhammad Fatima is,
it says سؤر.
I guess SMH means scratching my head, or what is that? Shaking my head or scratching my head? I scratch my head. 'Cause I always think of scratching my head because that's whenever I hear something stupid, I'm like, what? You know? But yeah, shaking my head, I guess it's supposed to mean right.
In a way, Fatima just said that.
Yeah.
What I just seen. No.
Did you find it?
Oh, we're still going at it? Oh.
I'm still waiting for you to read the definition of surah. Are you still looking for it?
No, I'm on the thing. I don't know which definition you want.
Go to the top. From the very top. He's going to give you the most used definitions in order.
Ism.
Ism. Hayakallah. Yeah, that's a good start. Go.
سؤر اسم الجمع أسآر.
Okay, mashallah. You're on the right page. Keep reading.
السؤر بقية الشيء.
بقية الشيء. Whatever is left over of something.
في حديث الفضل بن عباس حديث شريف لا أتر بسؤرك أحدا ويقال للشرير إنه سؤر شر سؤر مصطلحات.
But we got this, right? So, you understand. So it means the leftovers of something. Anything, but it's for anything. But generally, they use it for leftover food. Leftover food. All right, so that's the whole point. Like this dunya, what we got is the leftovers. We don't have the best of it. But see, this is the whole thing. So I want y'all to look at this. Like, right, look at how stupid people are. You know, and the people of the dunya. You look at all the shara'i that came before, right? None of them were complete, right? It was always something, that had to be, the next messenger had to come and had to fix, and change this, and it's like new legislation came down. None of those messages were ever complete. Until when? Until Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with the final message, the complete, the khalas. It came with the Quran, it came with the Sunnah, complete, khalas. So we have this. We have something that out of all of mankind, right?
Hi.
I'm going to start calling you Burpee.
No.
All right, or Hiccupy or whatever. So out of all of mankind, we have something that none of mankind has, right? Right. Focus with me now. What's that thing that we have that nobody throughout all of mankind has?
We have the Quran.
We got the Quran and the Sunnah. I mean, you couldn't even imagine this nobody could imagine the type of knowledge that we have as far as this deen. But the dunya, on the opposite, we got this on the continuum, right? We have this over here. And then on the other side of this continuum, we have what? We got the dunya, which is the complete polar opposite, which all the good that they had in the beginning, like we got none of that remaining. We got just like leftovers. We got just whatever's remaining, right? So now you have this complete thing that nobody ever had before. Like, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us to see this. And they want to leave this for what? For that, for those leftovers. And they think that they're doing like, يَحْسِبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ الصُّنْعَ. And they think that like they're on the haq and they're doing this is what I'm doing is right. I'm on the right path. Just imagine that. And you have this beautiful blessing, akhi. Forget this dunya and its leftovers. If you look at the type of morality that we have nowadays, akhi, wallahi, it's sickening. Sickening, akhi, wallahi. Even amongst the, what are you going to get from the dunya? Ta'ab, akhi, wallahi, nothing but ta'ab. If you want drugs, you think that you want to go party and have drugs, akhi, everything's got fentanyl, everything's laced with this stuff that's going to kill you, right? You want to go with girls? Yeah, akhi, these girls have slept with everybody in the neighborhood. Like, you don't got nothing clean anymore except for what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses you with a beautiful Muslim woman, who's protected herself for her husband and her husband alone. And you get that in Islam. You don't get that in the dunya. You want to go out and what? Just work for Work for a living and put all your time for the companies? What's that going to get you?
Once you die, they're just going to replace you. In less than 24 hours.
Yeah, once they need to make cuts in the company, they start firing everybody. They're only going to keep essential people and probably fire you anyways. Anybody that works in the company is expendable. The only people that are not expendable are like those 5 or 6 people at the very top that work 15, 16 hours every single day, and the company depends on it. But everybody down at the bottom is expendable. They don't care about you. So, it's like, akhi, there's nothing that you're going to get out of this dunya that's going to bring you any type of happiness. But then you got this, right, this complete final message that no prophet ever came with before. And now you can sit at home and you can read about this, you can study this, you can listen to the ulama talk about this, but this is not what you want. You want the sur, you want the leftovers, you want whatever garbage is just left over for the people. Okay, come on, man. Wallahi, that's sick. Yeah, I told you that, man. That's when we were coming here Friday. Well, you were with me on Friday, right? That's what I was telling you. I said, we were coming right by my house. They're having like this big party, right? So go out, we gotta drive by. I'm just looking, I'm like, well, these kuffar really think that they're,
Having a good
they're having a good time. They got these girls that probably done slept with half the neighborhood, thinking like they're like on something. Come on, akhi, you're filthy. Your life is filthy. It's like then you look at like I said, what Islam does to you. Just by following this message, and look what Allah blesses you with. Look at what Allah blesses with. Where else, nowadays, are you gonna be able to be blessed with a woman that's never been alone with another man other than you? Just imagine that. But the people reject that. They don't want that. They want to go to that filth. And they actually, because Shaitan has deceived them so much that they think that filth is like, this is it. This is where I need to be. This is where it's at. Ya akhi, wallahi, that's, I told you, ghurur. Ghurur, that's deception, akhi. That's deception, wallahi. That's the way that you live, akhi, wallahi, man. You got to go back and do some introspection or something like, check out the state of your heart, man. If you're satisfied with living like that, that's your business, akhi. To each his own. But Allah musta'an, akhi. Any questions on that?
Purple. Wait, so did Abdul Malik tell you if he was coming?
He said it. That's why I said I'm going to try to,
Right.
Stop.
Stop.
Is that him busting on the door again?
It's either him or his little sisters.
That's the tornadoes, man. And like Hamid said, the Christians and Jews they don't have the teachings of their prophet. Yeah, they don't even have, but I'm saying like even what they had in the time of their prophets. What we have is it's complete. It wasn't complete. It wasn't complete. So Allah musta'an. Every single revelation that came before was not completed until this final message. And now it's complete. And we have that. And people want to leave that and go to what? Go to something else. Just imagine, look at the book that we study, right? How many hadiths are in this book? 1,400, well, how much? I think it's less than 1,400. So 1,322 hadiths. All about what? Manners. And how to carry yourself and how you should be in all these different situations. And like I said, once we go through the book and we continue to read through the book, we're going to see manners of eating, manners of sleeping, manners of dealing with people, all these different ways of how we carry ourselves. So that all of that is to teach you how to, carry yourself with dignity, how to carry yourself with honor, how to carry yourself, as a man in this society, to be somebody that, people can look up to, and people that the kids say, okay, that's a role model. Because right now, what are the kids looking up to?
NBA young boy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Rappers, drug dealers, and gangbangers. Something like what?
Kanye West.
Just like I said, subhanAllah, like I was talking about on Telegram, people that fight over a street that they don't even own nothing on. That's what you want as a hero. So heroes with a person with knowledge and that's the people that change the world. Gang members gonna change the world. It hasn't happened yet. How many years have the Crips been around in Los Angeles? This is 1969, right?
46 years?
Yeah, they said in 69 the seed was born. So 1969, right? So from 1969 to 2024, what have they done? Yeah, exactly. No, they haven't. Even till now, they have no political party, no businesses, no nothing that brings any life back to the community. So when all the riots and everything destroyed the community in, what was it, 93 or when was it? 93. When the riots destroyed, and then all those big businesses started pulling out, So, all the commercial businesses, they pulled out all their stores in those areas in South Central because they said, we're not going to keep our business there. It's not safe. Why didn't they come in? Where were they at now to come in and to fill the shoes of those big businesses and create an economy and nothing. Just wreaked havoc of just years and years and years But this is what people look at as heroes. And now you look at, and the Muslims, our problem is we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. Because we're watching what everybody's doing wrong, and we're just sitting back and say, that's going to mess up. But we're just sitting here doing what? Nothing. And that's why when I made that video right before I left Jacksonville, the video that's on the Institute channel, which is like, I can't remember what Sajid titled the video, because he does the titles and the thumbnails, right? But it was something like, Muslim money, where is it going, or something like that. Where did it go? Because this came from a conversation that I was having with the brother Mujahid in Jacksonville, because we were coming back from the khutbah. I was giving the khutbah that day. He was taking me home, and then I was talking to Mujahid, because he got a phone call from a kafir that works for him, because Mujahid, he has his own company of, he runs his own thing of like delivering packages, right? So he's got his own little business set up, right? So alhamdulillah, he's doing good for himself. Brother, went to prison for murder. He killed somebody, and he took the time in prison to really, really reevaluate himself, get it together, and he started, getting the money together, halal means, became Muslim, started giving the khutbahs in prison, came out and started his own business. Everything legit, everything legal, So alhamdulillah. But so we're sitting there having this conversation, this kafir calls. And the kafir's like, I'm going down to Tampa. And then, and Mujahid's like, well, what you going to do in Tampa? He's like, oh, man, I'm going to do. He said, don't worry. I ain't going to something about the casinos or something. I don't know what they have in Tampa, right? Because this is all new. This wasn't there before when I was living in, when I was growing up. So anyway, so he hangs up the phone. And that's why I looked at Mujahid and I said, Akhi, honestly, what are we doing as Muslims? Like, what are we doing? I said, look at this kafir that just called you. I guarantee you he smokes weed. He said, of course he does. All right, he's probably fornicates with all different types of girls. Can't even keep one girl that he's fornicating with. He's probably lazy as all outdoors as far as his job. He doesn't take anything seriously because he's too busy trying to what? Fulfill his desires. Like, you can't take things seriously when you're a person of desires. Even these dudes, like, we're talking about in the dunya. We're talking about these rich dudes. These guys that, these billionaire type guys, these are not people running around in the nightclubs drinking and with, all these different, freaky girls all on their laps. Nah, these are not these types of dudes. This guy puts all of his focus into making that money, and that's why he's got $1 billion. He's not a person that, where he just goes off and lets his desires run free. But he's not doing it for Allah, and it's not for the deen, it's for the dunya, right? But then you got these other, what the world is mostly made up of, it's people of desires. So I said, look at us. We don't smoke weed. We don't spend our money going out to clubs on girls. We don't drink. We don't gamble. We don't do any of these things. Where is our money? Where is us? Like us we should be the richest people, and we should have the strongest economy within America. But we have nothing to show for. No businesses. No nothing. And so even us, we failed, akhi. Wallahi, all these years that I've been going from America, I thought I would at least come back and see some type of Wallahi, I see the exact opposite in America. Like the masajid are just empty now. They're way more empty than they used to be before. Wallahi, in the 90s, the masajid were getting, they were way more packed. Now you see less people going to the masjid, less people concerned about the deen, less people concerned even about learning the Arabic language, and all these things that, used to be the most important thing to us back then. But then on even in the same spectrum, these people that are going after the dunya, all this money that the Muslims are making in America, where is it? Where is it? What have we done to establish this deen in America? Nothing. So again, it goes back to that issue of shukr, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ لَإِنْ شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ وَلَإِنْ كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. So that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala announced to the people that if you're grateful and thankful, that you use the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, because this is gratitude, right? Is that you use the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you to do what? To enjoy yourself?
No, in His obedience.
Yeah, you use the blessings that Allah gives you in His obedience. How is that gratitude that you go and enjoy yourself in the disobedience to Allah, and then you think that Allah is going to increase you? He takes the barakah out of everything that you have. So even if you had a lot, it's like a little. It's not enough for you. It's never enough for you. And you see this with the kuffar. They never have enough. You know, even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "La utiya ibn Adam, what? Wadin min dhahab, la ishtaha thani." You know, if the son of Adam was given a whole valley of gold, he would desire a second one. He said, "Wala yamlau ibn Jofa ibn Adam ila ish turab." He said that the core, the inner part of the son of Adam, he'll never be full, he'll never be satiated, he'll never be happy, except for when the dirt fills him up, when he's dead and gone and he's buried. But as long as he's alive, he keeps desiring more, and he's never going to be satisfied. That's the people of the dunya. It's not gratitude. So we have all this money amongst the Muslims in America, but none of that money has ever gone to establish this deen and establish the Muslims as a major force in America. So what do you got? And I'm not talking about getting in politics and starting a party. That's disobedience to Allah. Again, that's using the money in the disobedience to Allah. What I'm talking about is a major economical force, because that's what really makes decisions in this country anyways. It's not the people in politics. The people with the money, they own the people in politics. If you get involved in politics, then that means that you're just going to become a slave like everybody else. You're going to be owned just like everybody else. But it's the people that have the money. Those are the people that control the politics. But we have none of that. Even though we have, look, in every single major city, look at the Muslim population and look how much money goes through the hands. We're not drinking, we're not partying, we're not going to clubs, we're not spending the money on women. Where is the money going? But none of that money, if that money was all in all those major cities going to establish this deen and push this dawah, Quran and Sunnah, ya akhi, wallahi, man, we'd be in control of everything right now.
They spend it on mortgage loans, they spend it on student debt loans, they spend it on car loans. It all goes to riba. And Allah said, يَمْحَقُ اللَّهُ الرِّبَى يُرْبِ الصَّدَقَاتِ. And Allah destroys interest. So they, especially the Arab and Pakistanis and Indians, they use, especially with student debt and car loans and mortgages, that money that they make goes to interest, and Allah promised to destroy interest.
Mm-hmm. And the barakah of their money gets destroyed. So just think about that. But all of that, and that's why we tell the people, it all goes back to going back to the obedience of Allah. You know, the people can sit here and talk about all this stuff. Oh, we want to go out and protest. Akhi, you don't need to protest. Get in the masjid, learn your deen. Start doing what you're supposed to be doing as a Muslim.
Can I add one more too? Also, like I said, the Arab and the Pakistanis, they use their money also to go on haram trips to kafir countries. Multiple, you see them, they posting themselves in Japan. Like, dude, you're not a da'i. We know you're not a da'i. Why are you in Japan? Why are you in China? Why are you in Hawaii? They use the money to go with haram vacations, haram everything. To be honest, they build their house on haram. They don't teach their children the deen. They go to the movie theaters. They go to concerts. This is where their money's going. They could sponsor so much طلاب علم, but you know.
Man, the students of knowledge can't even find. You know how much money I used to get when I was in Damaj a year from people, like people trying to help out. Like maybe $200 a year from my mother, and maybe $300 from the brothers in Jacksonville. You know, they helped out a little bit. $500 a year. That's what I had to live off of in Yemen. Huh?
Got to work a few.
Huh?
Got to work a few.
No. That's why I weighed like 130 something pounds, and I had to walk barefooted most of the time because I couldn't afford to buy shoes. And the people used to laugh at me because they thought I was joking. They thought because I said, oh, he just wants to be like the Prophet and walk barefooted. No, like, fool, I'm walking barefooted because I can't afford a pair of shoes. You know, but I want to stay here and study, and I don't want to give up and just go back to America like a little girl. You know, because everybody else, they got sick, they got hungry. I didn't have that money coming in like that. You know, it got so bad at one time, I'm not joking, akhi, a Ta'azi kid. Like, he's not a kid, he's like 15 years old. A Ta'azi, he just came for the summer to study. He looked at me, he said, Anta min America? And I said, Naam. He said, yeah, akhi, take this money. He gave me 100 riyals, akhi. A kid from Taz gave me 100 riyals of sadaqah. I'm like, man, are you tripping? Like, why is my situation got that bad to where a kid from Taz gave me 100? Man, I went straight to the store and bought Indomie. I was like, man, because we were going upstairs to eat the beans from the dawah. you know, because it's free. We eat from the masjid. And he gave me that 100 riyals. I'm like, Jazakallah khair. I ran to Dukan Ma'awad and bought like maybe 2 or 3 Indomies and maybe 2 eggs. And man, went home and I had a feast, akhi. I was happy that night, but I was starving the next day again. But nah, I mean, but there's no, but you know, honestly, I'm happy for that. I'm happy that people didn't support it because wallahi, that struggle. I mean, because like we talk about this all the time, akhi, wallahi, you don't know who you are in times of ease. You don't know what you're capable of and the things, and that's not what you're capable of. It's really, you don't, you know, you really understand that, you know, how can I say this like correctly? You, at this point, when you cut off from everything, you really know who to put your trust in, which is Allah. And then you start to see things that other people they'll never see. Your du'as getting answered like that, seeing dreams, and then this stuff just manifesting itself right in front of you, but you're struggling, and it's hard, and you're in pain, and you're suffering, but the type of character that it builds, and that, you know, there's nothing that you know, when you go out to the dunya, and the people are like, all caught up, and you're like, man, forget this, akhi, this stuff is useless, because you know that you can live without it. In fact, you found enjoyment in living without it. I mean, we lived for what, 4 years, akhi, with no electricity. That's just in Damaj. I'm not talking about Sana'a during those years with the wars and all that type of stuff, and how many years we had to stay without electricity, no internet, none of that stuff existed for us in the house. You know, no running water, no electricity, in a mud house for 4 years. Akhi, that builds character. If anything else, if you don't, you know, get a lot of the deen, you get at least an understanding like that builds character. And then having to struggle, you know. So, I mean, you know, because everybody knows, like the brothers that were there know my situation. Even like the brother Shakir one time, he's like, here, man, take the 1,000. He gave me like 1,500 riyals. I took it and bought books. Didn't even spend that. I didn't even spend that money on food. I went and bought books. You know, I mean, that's just the reality, akhi. That struggle, you know. And that's how you really, truly understand yourself. It's dunya, akhi. When you're caught up in this dunya, that's not going to teach you the truth about yourself. You know, you realize the ugly situation about yourself when everything is stripped away from you. And that's why you see the people when they go to prison. That's why it benefits the people in prison more than it benefits the people what? You know, out on the streets, because they get that time of, you know, of clarity, of thinking. All the distractions have been what? Has been removed from them. Now they can sit back and now they can think. Now they can look at themselves if they use that time. Now, obviously, a lot of people, they'll sit up in prison. They'll just waste their time playing, you know, whatever, dominoes and spades and all this type of stuff, or doing other things like just working out, but not really focusing on themselves. But at time, if you use that time and utilize that time when you're in that struggle to start to know yourself and know who, you know, all the things, and it's like, you know, when you're going through that, it's like almost, you know how they say like at death, your whole life gets played out in front of you. But that's what you start to do. You start to play out every single scenario throughout your life and see how you dealt with it. You know, and that's why when I got out of Damaj, and even when I was in Saudi, I would call up Kufar, and I would tell them about stories. Hey, you remember this? He's like, dang, you remember everything, akhi. It's not I don't remember everything. But because of that time that I was in Damaj, I would replay everything and see how I handled it, where I made the mistakes. Okay, I had this situation with this guy when I was 15 years old, and this is the way I handled it, and it was wrong. I had that time to sit there and think and correct myself. And most people, they're too distracted for that because why? They're too caught up in the dunya. You can't fix yourself like this. You'll never be able to fix yourself when you're caught up with all these distractions. The only way that you can fix yourself, you got to remove all of that. And that's why I said that, you know, and I mentioned this before in the khutbah. I said the Muslims, the trials, those strong trials and tribulations, you know, those trials that push you, like knock you on the ground. That's the best thing for us. And that's when we start to, you know, the best of us, you know, that cream that rises to the top. That's when we start to see who's who. Because all these people that you see, you know, the ones running around, you know, with the clean cut, clean shaven, clean this, clean that, everything, you know, they're not going to be around. They're not going to be the face of this deen when those trials and tribulations kick in, because they're going to be the ones knocked out. The people that you didn't even know, the people that you sat there and thought that he was nobody, those are going to be the people that are going to stand up and take the flag, because those are the people that spent that time trying to benefit and understand the deen, understand who they are, and try to better themselves as human beings, as a Muslim. Those are the people that are going to stand up and take the leadership roles. But these people that you see now, these people are going to fall off. Watch. Mark my word. They're all gonna fall. And, you're gonna see none of them, and you're gonna be disappointed in every single one of them. And we could just hope that we're not from amongst those people. So use this time. Use this time, like, get rid of these distractions. Because it's coming, akhi. Oh, you think that you're going to sit here, and I keep reminding you, you think you're going to be sitting here living in peace while the world's going in shambles. You see what's going on over in Yemen, Syria, and all this. You think this stuff ain't going to come here. Akhi, it started there. They started the fire there. And that wildfire is going to spread all around this world. And everybody's going to taste of it sooner or later. So when you start benefiting from this time, akhi, you start detaching yourself from these things. Because wallahi, that's going to bring you destruction. When it all gets taken away from you, and you didn't want it to go. You were holding fast to it, and it got taken away from you. Akhi, that's much more painful than you just cutting ties with it and just letting it go. So get all these distractions out your life, man. Get all these distractions out of your life. And wallahi, start to get to like the bare minimum what you need to maintain your life and do what you got to do. Focus on knowledge, focus on righteous actions, focus on obedience to Allah. Focus on just keep moving forward. Long time. We gotta hit this, right?
It's 9:43.
I guess Abdul Malik ain't showing up.
Yeah, man, I wanted to take him to In-N-Out with me and Ibrahim.
He's not, because he's at a wedding, so. That must mean that they're not playing music and all that stuff, because he said, if they start playing music, I'm leaving. I'm coming to the Dutch. But I guess he hasn't made it. Allahumma sallam. Wa ilahuna subhanaka wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
ممكن أسرح سيف معنا ولا؟